Hello, this is Johnny Cycles with CyclesGaming.com, bringing you a deck tech for another Dragons in Modern deck that I'm running this month. It's built around Shiko, Paragon of the Way, which is a 5 mana 4/5 flying Vigilant Spirit Dragon that when it enters, you exile target non-land card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard, copy it, then you may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. So what that means is we don't get to return the permanent to the battlefield and then do it again and again and again if that permanent keeps getting killed. Instead, we exile it ourselves and only get a token copy. It also means that token copies are, if it's a creature, can be killed by Fatal Push without Revolt. Anyway, so we've built our deck around value creatures that have ETBs, or just powerful creatures in and of themselves. Starting with Ragavan as a powerful creature as a 1-drop, just getting in there, hopefully getting a treasure token to help ramp us into Shiko, which is the main reason why we're playing Strike It Rich, to help give us a little bit of ramp. The 2-drop slot, we have a Johnny, bringing in a cat with it, can win games all by itself. White Orchid Phantom, so many non-basic lands out there that this hates on, that we can then bring back and do it again. The flying and first strike are definitely not irrelevant. Skyclave Apparition as a catch-all answer to permanents of 4 mana or less. Seasoned Pyromancer, I haven't got to see it in action yet. This is a final version of the deck. There's so many powerful 3-drops and even 2-drops in the format that it's kind of like the world is our oyster in picking. So I've just been testing out the various ones. Draws us deeper into our deck, fills our graveyard with cards we can get back with Shiko, put some bodies on the battlefield. Flage, also a new addition from the very first versions. I finally forked out the money for him, although he's much cheaper than he used to be. Another way to take advantage of our graveyard, another good target for Shiko, even though he won't stay on the battlefield. Mantis Rider, one of the reasons why I kept calling this deck Keeping Modern Janky, or for Keeping Modern Janky, is because of Mantis Rider, Strike It Rich, and White Orchid Phantom, none of which get much play in Modern. This, none, but it's a sneaky all-star. It may need to be in a home with more hasty threats, but it's still really powerful. And then finally our 5-drop namesake card. Flagstones of Trakir may seem weird. I had the dream of using White Orchid Phantom to target it, and it may still be relevant, but I haven't seen that come up any. So far we've always wanted to kill our opponent's lands. In the sideboard we have Deafening Silence to fight against Storm, Rest in Peace, which nerfs our own combo, so we have to be careful in what we bring it in, but if we're playing like we played Dredge, we just don't have, we're a mid-range deck, right? And if you haven't figured that part out, we are a pretty fair mid-range deck looking just to take advantage of ETBs and get extra value and grind out games that way. A deck like Dredge is playing on a different axis. We can't keep up with it without a card like Rest in Peace. So at that point, we probably take out the Shiko, maybe even the Flages. A little bit of counter magic in the sideboard. Meltdown for the Affinity and Hardened Scales and all the other nonsense artifact decks out there. Magnetic Hellkite to give us more land hate against Eldrazi and anything else, as well as the 4/5 flying evasive beating threat in the air. Wear Tear to help give us some kind of answer against opponents' enchantments like Rest in Peace or the Overlords. So yeah, that's the deck. It's been really, really fun to play. I think one of the things that is so much fun about it, two things. One, we get to play some really powerful Modern Horizons cards, and I talk a little bit about this in one of my matches. Is Modern just a Modern Horizons block format? It kind of is, and is that okay? I think it is. They're building these sets specifically for Modern, so of course they're going to have an impact on Modern. And I think as long as there are some older decks, some former Tier 1 decks, or former Tier 2 or Tier 3, and by former I mean non-Modern Horizons decks that existed before, that get powered up and playable because of Modern Horizons, as well as it's bringing new decks to the format, I do think Modern Horizons overall is a net gain for the format. Having lost to Johnny and all these other cards so many times, it's nice to play them myself. Nevertheless, the jank is still real for our deck with Mantis Rider and Shiko. Otherwise, look, Modern Horizons, 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 not Horizons, Horizons. I mean, just, it is what it is. Anyway, that's one of the reasons why it's really fun to play. And then the second is because there's so much flexibility in the 3-drop slot, or 2-drop, but really 3-drop slot that we can test out. Like I have a control version. I tried to bore an Oculus. You don't get it back for free. You have to pay the alternate cost though, which is unfortunate. There's Geist of Saint Traft, an oldie but goodie, and there's Brutal Cathar. There are more like Skyclave Apparition type effects that you could target. And the 2-drop we could put in Thalia to get more and really increase the value of our blink effects. Not just have it as Shiko, but have Thalia down to blink our various ETBs. At that point, we might want to take Mantis Rider out and maybe put in something else. But anyway, if you are interested in Jeskai, you like what you see here, and you want to test out Shiko, I mean, it's a really fun deck. It is mid-range, so we're looking at tier 2-ish max. You're going to get some free wins from just various Modern Horizons cards, but also you're going to lose just because other decks, or even the mid-range decks out there, can often grind better and have better synergies and more powerful cards. But that's the deck. It's been really fun to play. I hope you enjoy the gameplay. Let me know in the comments what you think. What 3 drops or 2 drops would you include? Is Strike It Rich better than Guide of Souls in this deck? I tried out Guide of Souls once in this deck, and I didn't like it. But let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. This is Johnny Cycles. I'll catch y'all in the next one.